Hello and welcome to the PEP EPIC program. Today I'd like to talk to you about setting up a digitizer pen to work with our program. So what I've done is I've gone into the company settings part of our program here, and in the company settings I go right to the Blueprint Pen screen. As you look at the Blueprint Pen screen, it'll show you that we have different comp ports that we're able to hook into. So what I need to do is I need to plug in my Blueprint Pen into my computer, and as I plug that in, I'll get a little signal there that it's plugged in. I will then go and refresh my list, and when I drop the list, I now have Comp 3 in the list. Before I only had Comp 1 and Comp 2. I will change the port to Comp 3, so I will highlight that, and I will change that. In doing so, it's not going to show on this program because I'm demoing this and it's not showing up on this screen, but I will see the correct comp number down here under test value. When I see that comp number appear under test value, it should say Comp 3. At that point, I will go to my digitizer pen, Scale Master 2, digitizer pen measuring system, and I will click on the Set button on the pen itself. When I do that, Comp 3 will appear down here in this test value box, and then I know that I have set the pen to the right comp number. It is that easy to set the Blueprint Pen up to be able to work in the PEP EPIC program. Now, once I've done that, I go into my estimate, and I already have an estimate started here. So I go into this estimate, and I choose a job, and I go into my detail screen, and this job is the front of a building. So the area that I'm going to be working on will be the body. So as I type that in, I actually will drop my list to make it faster, and then I will drop charge by, and I will choose to charge by the square foot. The category will be fresh coat clapboard siding. The surface will be rough, beveled and shiplap rough. The method will be to brush. So now all I have to do is, because my digitizer pen is hooked up, is go into this screen here, and I can set my default rate. I know my elevation on this building is 20. So it's 20 feet, so I set my default rate, and then I take my Blueprint Pen, and I set my scale, which is right on the Blueprint Pen. Very simple to do. You just choose the scale that you want, that the blueprint is actually drawn out to, and I trace that blueprint, and then as I'm tracing this area that reflects the exterior elevation, I click the Set button on the pen. In doing that, I've just traced out 95.75 feet times my height, gives me a square footage of 1,915. Now I can just trace one area, or I can trace the whole blueprint. If I want to trace another area, again, I know that my default height, or not my default height, but my elevation height is 20, so I'm setting my default at that. And let's say that this building has many sections to it. So again, I would trace out the section that I was interested in estimating, and I would hit Set. And then say there's another section to be traced in this same elevation. So I clear my pen, and I trace that again, or I trace it all as one sweep. And as I trace that, I put that elevation in as well, for the length of that elevation. So now I have my total square foot for this building. And if I'm going to use 2 coats, I've already marked that. Now all I have to do is choose the product that I want to use. Say I'm going to use Duration Exterior Flat, and the color that I'm going to use is going to be a green. And I am doing 2 coats, so that I would label that 2. And I don't need to override my material requirements because my square footage production rate is in there, my spread rate. And then I say, okay, so on this building, I have 228 hours, 228.9 hours. I have a square foot measurement of 5,838.40, and my material is 31 gallons of paint at my cost, at my unit cost, and in my cost total. So here I've taken this off of the blueprint in very little time and have a very accurate measurement. The blueprint pen saves me a lot of time in measuring ceilings, walls, elevations of buildings, length of the buildings. It's just a great way and tool to have in your toolbox to be able to estimate more quickly and more accurately. Thank you for your time in how to use the blueprint pen. If you have any questions, by all means, you can email us at www.paintestimating.com. You can come back and look at this video, or feel free to call us as well. Our cell number, 860-485-3209. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Have a great day. Thank you very much for estimating with the PEP Estimating Program.